Save him, and I will free you, I swear it. You must know a way. Some magic.
There is a spell. Some would say death is cleaner.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another Game of Thrones video, breaking down the things you missed, using Easter eggs and hidden clues that explains the things that are going to happen in Game of Thrones Season 8. In this video series, I will tell you exactly why there is no free will, there is no such thing as prophecy in this A Song of Ice and Fire series. And I will explain to you exactly how BloodRaven has manipulated this whole story from day one. And how did BloodRaven do this? He did this the same exact way Bran affected Hodor. Now, whether you want to say he's evil or whether you want to say the ends justify the means, that will be up to you to decide at the end of this video series. But first, we will start with how BloodRaven caused the birth of Jon Snow. Now, in 233 AC, BloodRaven, who was handed the king, called the Great Council in King's Landing. Now, this was to deal with the matter of succession. Now, Aenys Blackfyre wanted to participate in this parlay peacefully, and BloodRaven said that's cool, and said, if you come out here, I got you, no one's going to hurt you, you good. So he comes out there, and when he comes out there, BloodRaven then bags him up. And once he gets bagged up, he's brought to the Red Keep and is then beheaded at BloodRaven's behest. Now, since the Blackfyres have rebelled against the Targaryens for years, BloodRaven thought he's going to be alright in his actions. But when the Great Council did name his successor, Aegon V, his first act was to bag up BloodRaven, throw him in the black cells for the murder of Aenys Blackfyre. Now, BloodRaven tried to argue that he did this for the realm and he gave up his honor for the realm, but the king was not having it. But the king did give him one option, and that was to take the black, which was BloodRaven's plan from the jump. He wanted to go to the wall because he knew he had to become the three-eyed raven, because as the three-eyed raven, he sent himself all of these images. He sent himself all these visions so that he knew exactly what he had to do to become the three-eyed raven. Now, after BloodRaven disappears from the Night's Watch and, as we know, becomes the three-eyed raven, all of a sudden the king starts to have some problems. Now, this begins in 239 AC, when Prince Duncan the Small refuses his betrothal and wants to marry Jenny of Oldstones. But it's not Jenny of Oldstones that we need to concern ourselves with. It's the chick she's running with, and that is the Ghost of High Heart. And the reason we have to concern ourselves with this chick, because it's either one or two things. Number one, this is BloodRaven glamored. Or number two, this is an agent who is under the possession of BloodRaven, and that's why she looks the way she does. And if you say that BloodRaven's too old to be glamoring, well, we've seen Melisandre, and she's older than that, and she's out there having sex and everything else. So I don't want to hear that. But we look at the Ghost of High Heart's description. The Ghost of High Heart walks with a black cane. So if she needed something to connect her glamour to, like Melisandre's ruby, it would be this black cane. She has long white hair. It almost touches the ground. She is very pale. She has red eyes. She is no more than 3 feet tall. Well, BloodRaven is very tall. This chick is very short. BloodRaven has red eyes. She has red eyes. BloodRaven has silver hair. She has silver hair. So it's either this is BloodRaven glamored as the Ghost of High Heart, or she is working for BloodRaven. As BloodRaven has used his abilities on her, she has taken on his appearance. Now, after Jenny of Oldstones marries Prince Duncan Targaryen, she does come to court with this albino dwarfish woman who is the Woods Witch, the Ghost of High Heart. Now, the Ghost of High Heart is the one who convinces Jaehaerys, who doesn't believe in incest, wants to go a different route. After hearing the Woods Witch prophecy that the prince who was promised would come from the line of Aerys and Rhaella, he then insists that they get married. Now, in 258 AC, Aegon V starts having many dragon dreams. And now these dreams are being sent to him by BloodRaven. And he becomes convinced that only dragons will restore his kingdom to glory. Which leads us to 259 AC, the tragedy at Summerhall, when the king goes there with his family, convinced that he can hatch dragons because of these dreams, and that leads to all of their death. Now we know that only death can pay for life, and the life we get here is Rhaegar Targaryen. So BloodRaven warps the mind of the person who sent him to the wall in the first place, convincing him that only dragons will help him save his kingdom, getting him to go to Summerhall using wildfire on dragon eggs. BloodRaven knew that this would cause an explosion, murdering the royal family in a huge king's blood sacrifice in order to pay for the life of Rhaegar Targaryen. We will discuss the second part of BloodRaven's master plan in part 2. So, if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace, and stay sexy.